Imagine you're a hardworking rancher in Texas or a coal miner in West Virginia. You wake up on election day, cast your vote, and believe just maybe your voice matters. But what if I told you that without the Electoral College, your vote wouldn't count at all? That the entire election would be decided before you even made it to the polls? That's not a hypothetical. That's exactly what the left wants. They want to get rid of the Electoral College so they can consolidate all political power into a few massive cities, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, while the rest of America is silenced. If they get their way, every election will be decided by coastal elites who couldn't care less about the farmers, factory workers, and truck drivers who keep this country running. The Electoral College exists for a reason. The Founding Fathers weren't stupid. They knew that pure democracy, where the majority always rules, quickly turns into mob rule. They had seen it in history, where emotional, impulsive crowds destroyed nations. So, they built a system that forces candidates to appeal to the entire country, not just the most populated urban centers. Without it, presidential elections would turn into a high-stakes popularity contest dominated by a few deep blue states, while the rest of America would be reduced to background noise. Let's be honest, if Democrats actually believed in fair elections, they wouldn't be trying so hard to change the rules every time they lose. They don't want to campaign in Middle America. They don't want to hear about your skyrocketing grocery bills, your struggle to find work, or your concerns about crime. They want raw, popular vote power because they know the deep blue cities will carry them every time. The Electoral College stops that from happening. It forces politicians to acknowledge all Americans, not just the ones who live in high-rise apartments and ride subways to work. They say the system is unfair because a president can win without the popular vote. But what's really unfair? That 5 or 6 cities should get to dictate the future for 330 million people? That's not democracy. That's a dictatorship of the elite. Our system was designed to protect against that. We are not a direct democracy. We are a constitutional republic, structured in a way that prevents any one group from having absolute control. The Senate exists for the same reason, so that smaller states aren't trampled by larger ones. The Electoral College extends that principle to presidential elections. Now imagine we get rid of it. Presidential candidates wouldn't even pretend to care about places like Ohio, Missouri, or Nebraska. They'd fly straight to California and New York, pandering to urban voters while ignoring the working-class Americans who actually keep the country afloat. The truck drivers delivering goods, the ranchers raising cattle, the oil workers fueling our industries, they wouldn't matter anymore. That's the world the left wants, one where they don't have to earn your vote because they can win without it. And let's not forget the real reason they hate the Electoral College. It stands in the way of their power grab. Every time they lose, they call the system outdated and undemocratic. But when it works in their favor, suddenly no complaints. Funny how that works. They don't care about fairness, they care about control. The Electoral College is one of the last safeguards we have against that. It forces candidates to build broad coalitions. It ensures that the voices of small-town Americans carry just as much weight as the elites in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. It stops the radical policies of the far left from steamrolling the rest of us overnight. And most importantly, it protects our nation from being ruled by a handful of cities instead of the people as a whole. This isn't just some technical debate about election mechanics. It's about whether America remains a nation where all voices are heard. The Electoral College isn't outdated, it's not broken. It's working exactly as intended, protecting the integrity of our elections and ensuring that every American, from the bustling streets of Texas to the quiet fields of Nebraska, has a seat at the table. So the next time you hear someone say, let's just get rid of the Electoral College, ask yourself, why do they want that? Because they believe in democracy, or because they want to rig the system in their favor? If we don't fight to protect it, we'll wake up one day in an America where our voices no longer matter. The Electoral College isn't the problem. It's the only thing standing between us and a one-party rule controlled by the radical left. Stand up. Speak out. Share this video. Because if we don't defend fair elections now, there won't be any fair elections left to defend.
Thanks for watching. If you have questions about how the U.S. government works, drop them in the comments. We might cover them in a future video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out these other videos.